gonna record this right before heading to bed, so sorry if this is a little sloppy. My guild just reached level 32 of Living Abyss, and some of our werewolves are starting to die, so I came up with 3 alternate comps that you can try out to see if you can keep your werewolf alive longer and still do a decent amount of damage. So, friendly reminder that my damage with the team I shared in my last video with Milk, it ranges from around 117 million at the lowest to 128 million, and then the average is close to 125 million. So when I recorded, I was quite happy that I got an average hit because I feel a little bad when I share crits. Well, I don't have a lot to say, so I'll start with the first one, which is switching out Squid for a third tank. And I recommend Schwarzwalder because he is the one that does the most damage out of any other tank. He will cause a little bit of a lack of damage towards the end because he does end up killing some of the Liko mobs towards the end, but that kind of helps with survivability as well. So let's check out a practice. Wait, no, I have to show the toppings first. Oops. So the toppings, you need damage res. I didn't test the limits because honestly it's going to be different for everyone, but personally I needed about 20, so I just went as high as I could. And you want him to have the highest attack speed so that he always has the robe on him, because he is going to be your other damage dealer. You can do all DR, you're just gonna get less damage, and then you would probably want to try the second comp I'm gonna show you instead. But let's do a practice run. So Macaron, Cotton, Werewolf, and right after the boss text you do Schwarzwalder. Oops. Don't do it right after the boss text. I just was bad at timing the last time. Okay, yeah. Sometimes you won't break 100 million, sometimes you will. Maybe you have even more attack subs than me and you always will. Well, but 100 million just about is what I'd expect from this build. You'll see that Schwarzwalder does do a fair amount of damage. It's 16 million, but as I said, he does start killing off some of the mobs close to the end because of the fact that he gets lots of stacks on them. And so Werewolf doesn't reach his full potential, and so he does about 70 million instead of 77 million. The next build I'll show you is probably my favorite one, and It's really RNG based, which is why I wouldn't recommend using it for the lower levels, but when you're up here, it helps with survivability as well, so it's at least worth checking out. Instead of squid, you use oyster. And the reason you use oyster is because of her skill. It will increase... I forgot her lines are long. So she increases crit and she increases crit damage. And when your werewolf is built with crit, it is amazing to get that crit damage boost. So you can use, for toppings, you can use either the damage res version, which has a minimum CD of, I believe it's 11.2? Something like that. And then damage res as much as you can get, honestly. Or the alternative is to have 24.3 CD or more and however much damage res you can get. I can do it with either of them, but my labs are quite high, so you might not have that. So I will show you with the damage res version, and personally I feel safer using it that way too. I will show a practice run now. So it's macaron, not oyster, then cotton, werewolf, and right after the boss text, this time for real. The reason we delay oyster is because if you queue her at the very beginning, there's a 2-second period where she will not have her soldiers up, and that's the exact moment that Werewolf's health gets really low, so there's a chance for him to die. But by delaying her to the boss text, the soldiers will pop up like exactly when he's about to die and save the day. See? It gets very low, and then she saves the day. So, 104 million, not bad. As you can see, the reason I like this version of the build a lot is because Werewolf can do even more damage thanks to the crit damage boost, because every time he crits, he'll do 13% more damage, and this particular time, I got 81.2 million, but when I first found this team, I was just shocked because I had never seen this much damage on Werewolf before. I will show you really quickly. I got 86 million. This was the first time I tested, and I have not since reached such an amazing crit, but I just wanted to share it with y'all because, wow, that is a lot of damage from one cookie. We thought Vamp was doing great when he did 50 million in Dragon, but Werewolf, wow. Okay, so enough of that. I will now show you the last build. It is not one I really recommend, but it is pretty safe, so it's at least an option. You want to use espresso cookie. And again, he's replacing squid. And the reason you want to use him is because he kills mobs with his injury. And, well, if the mobs aren't stacking up on you, they're not gonna kill you. So, let's go ahead and do that. You'll see that it's the lowest damage out of all of them, so I don't recommend it. Oh, and he's like all attack, obviously.
お逃げなさい。刺激するな。この地に平和を。明かりを灯すな。お逃げなさい。明かりを灯すな。刺激するな。
I have about 15% damage res on espresso, so probably want to have some, otherwise he might die during that very beginning bit. But I don't really recommend this in the first place. If you have those damage res subs, you should probably use Short Swelder instead. Yeah, about 99 million. I tend to get between 95 and 99 million when I do this build. The reason is obvious. It's because espresso is killing the mobs, so just don't get as much damage. Werewolf still does a pretty decent amount of damage with this, and thanks to Milk's push and taunt and the like, so Werewolf can hit a lot more of the monsters. Yeah. I'll go back to the cookie page for a bit and so there's a few other options that you could use for killing them, like you can use Black Pearl, or I think Black Pearl's the main other one. I showed Captain Caviar as an option in a previous build. He does not help with survivability, so I wouldn't really recommend him up here. I've tried a few tanks. I tried Yam, the damage wasn't that great. I tried Financier, didn't really do much. I tried Coco. Coco helped with Werewolf's damage a fair amount, but still around 107 million, so the same as Schwarzwalder actually. There's so many options to choose from, so you can test it yourself. Maybe you'll find something even better. And I wish you good luck. My computer is crying. I'm gonna go to bed.